What's good, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast. Hopefully, this is the What's Good podcast, Hollywood's #1 mental health podcast, and we have a very special guest today. This is a guy I've been following on TikTok for about over a year now. He posts a lot of mental health content, wellness, self-care. His name is Rohit Tigga, so I'll let him introduce himself, and we'll hop right into it.
Hello. What's good, everyone? So my name is Rohit Tigga. I'm from the Bay Area, California. And I have this community brand and movement called I'm Here and Care, which is pretty much focused on like teen and young adult mental health and wellness, helping people heal, helping people know that they're not alone in what they go through, and just overall become the best version of themselves and support themselves.
That's awesome. I'm happy you you stopped by in LA to check out the podcast, see what's good, like the name, and I was excited when you were able to make it, because so many moving parts. People are here and there and left and right, and apparently you're from the Bay Area. That's correct, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Bay Area, California.
Born and raised?
Yeah, born and raised.
Okay.
South Bay, San Jose. Yeah.
Okay. And San Jose, that's one of the bigger cities in California, correct?
Yeah, 1 million people.
Okay.
It's a big city. Yep.
So how do you feel whenever you get to like LA or say, that's bigger than San Jose?
Yeah, so let's talk. Yeah, what LA. So I mean, so I'm a California native. Pretty much know it like the back of my hand. So like growing up, I was in band. So I mean, like everything from elementary, middle, high school, like I was in band, I was in marching band, I was in everything. So pretty much like every year I would come down to LA. We would have performances like at Disneyland, and we would have like all these things that we did. We had like a Pasadena Rose Bowl parade that we participated in.
The Rose Bowl, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
so
nice.
I think from that perspective, I'm like, yeah, it's like LA feels like home in a sense,
Oh, that's
just
awesome.
because I've been here a lot. LA's cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
I'm obviously new to here to LA, and having this podcast is a great way to connect with people. And the reason why I left my job in Virginia and came here is to connect with people like you, to hear your story and to see what makes you go every single day. So right now on TikTok you have over 700,000 followers. You have this whole community of people who support each other. What made you want to get on TikTok, and why mental health?
Yes, that's a very good question, and I'd love to start with this. So this starts with my own personal story, how I started I'm Here and Care. So pretty much like at the end of 2018 and 2019, I believe, kind of like early 2019, like pretty much like personally, like that was a stage where I was very depressed, suicidal, almost went through it, ending it all and everything, and kind of just really coping with that and getting through that and figuring all that out. I wrote about my experiences online, posted videos online and thing of that nature, just to really get my emotions out, and tried to also like comfort others who are going through it. And like the big thing that inspired me with I'm Here and Care were like two individuals that I met. One was when I was literally on Reddit, and like I think like some like depression subreddit. Yeah, the depression subreddit or something. Like there was a 14-year-old boy at the time who was saying that he was going through a lot. He had like a abusive relationship with his mother, and he was thinking about like straight up like, I want to die. I'm done with this, end it all and everything. Thankfully, I messaged him and said, "Hey man, you want to talk? I've definitely dealt with those thoughts before, and I want to see how you're doing and everything." And we connected on a lot of things, everything from not only like mentally and like depression and everything, but like music and like similar artists. Like we were just talking about artists right now. We were like talking about like like Kid Cudi and X and Kanye and everything. We were talking about that, and there were
awesome.
And there were like times where like I literally like bawled out because I'm crying, and because he was like a talented person, really talented person. Like I think he finished so after his freshman year he got like straight A's.
That's what's up. Congrats.
He wants to like heal Parkinson's disease and like become a doctor, and like I didn't want him to end it and end his potential. So that was that. And we still keep in touch with this day. So after that, I posted my experiencing with that, like my depression personally, and talking to him, and on a blog. And then I received another comment from like a 16-year-old girl at the time, who her story is absolutely unique because she has been through like a lot of trauma. And it's like it's like it's a story in itself. But like, long story short, everything from like foster care and like things with immigration and everything, she's very much been through like a lot of abuse in her family and whatnot. Okay. And a lot of things really bubbled up to where, she had a date set to end it all and everything. And I saw her comment, I responded to it, we exchanged Instagrams, we were DMing for about 2 weeks. And there was a point where she said something to where, you can't save everyone.
Okay.
Thanks for trying. And then I almost thought that I lost her because I tried video calling her, I tried messaging her and everything, and I didn't receive a response. And thankfully, she was still there, and I was able to distract her from going through with it. And she thankfully, like, I'm so glad to this day that she didn't do that. And now she's in too. Yeah, and now she's in a stage in her life where she's in college, and her goal is to really go into like the medical field and become a clinician and things of that nature. So I'm really happy about that. Actually,
that's fantastic.
I got a tattoo of her name on my on my arm, because it's like just her story alone and what she's been through like really inspires me. She's like a sister to me, and we keep in touch. She lives in another country, but we still keep in touch and everything. But so that's what really inspired the vision and the mission of I'm Here in Care, which is like providing mental wellness, like this mental wellness platform to teens and young adults. After that, that's when I really started it. That's when I started posting on TikTok and Instagram and like building this community around it. That's fantastic. And it came here to today. So no, it's fantastic.
And when you talk about the internet, of course you mentioned Reddit, but it's a powerful place. There's pros and cons to the internet. Yes. Obviously sometimes we use the internet in ways that it's not productive for anybody. But when it comes to mental health and sharing your story, I think it's neat. And like the way you put it, and in my opinion, I feel like people need something to look forward to. So if you don't have nothing to look forward to, and you're depressed, you're going through it, you could be a glimmer of hope for somebody. And it could be talking about music, like you said, about Kid Cudi or Kanye's album or this and that. But people need things to look forward to, and that's the most impressive thing about the platform that you built. Over 700,000 people. That's like a city in the U.S., right? People who are excited about your content, and they love to watch your videos every single day. And it's a powerful thing. Like, and I think to myself, like, who is watching my content every single day, and they're like, all right, because of your content, I'll stay for one more day. That's a powerful thing. And you're doing the same thing, and you're making it exciting for people. You're making it fun. Is destigmatizing mental health. Like, mental health is not like sitting there talking every day about like your trauma. It's about talking about, okay, this is what's happened. This is what I'm looking forward to. This is what I'm most excited about. What makes you go? What do you most enjoy about life? And for you, so you post this great content. The more you've posted online, have you figured more about yourself? Do you know more about what you enjoy after this whole TikTok journey?
Yes. Yes to all of that. Like, I've not only figured out what I enjoy, but also what I don't enjoy.
Right. Yeah. It's important.
That's a whole nother thing. I figured out things about myself to where like you say certain things about yourself, or you present yourself in a way, and kind of like the relationship that you have with other people online who may be feeling certain emotions or been through a certain place in life. Obviously, you are your own unique individual, but seeing other people's experiences and knowing that, hey, this person dealt with it this way, and I'm not alone with that, and so on and so forth. Like, that has been very powerful. And I think like throughout the journey, throughout putting everything out there with just a journey of creation and building that community, it's a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing. And I've really just learned, it's crazy. It's not really an external journey of just, you know, creation, getting things out there, views, followers, likes, subscribers, all that. It's also you really learn about yourself internally, like what I like, what I dislike, who am I, like even like big questions like why I'm here, what is my purpose, where did I come from, like things like that,
the deeper stuff.
Yeah, you really reflect on yourself and you really dig deeper. And it's still, you know, obviously it being a journey, it's still something that I'm going through this day, that I'm learning, and I'm really figuring out, you know, like that internal journey within myself. And I'm trying not, you know, working my best not to get caught up in that form of validation, and figuring out like how to build that community and movement into the best manner possible, to where I want this whole movement with I'm Here and Care, and like the ideas and messages that we have, to live on, because obviously like life is short, life is temporary, and I want people in like future, like people who are born when I'm not even here, to say like to see like, hey, like this person talked about this thing in this way, had this sort of connection, wasn't afraid to talk about this, to where like obviously like future generations and future people will have different battles, but I want like that idea and like message to resonate, live on forever.
What are some of the topics that you think people have really gravitated towards on your TikTok?
Yes, I'd say definitely some big ones with that question would be, I'd say men's mental health would be a very big one. I think that'd be like a top one for sure, just because just historically, like stigma around male mental health, and like shame around it too, just your idea of being a man who needs to be strong and silent, like that is something that is just pervasive throughout the whole world. Like no matter what race or culture or country or ethnicity you are, like I've noticed that's something that's like very pervasive, like it's like very universal just as a human being. So I think really just deconstructing that, breaking that down, and letting men know, like I'm letting men know that they're, you know, like we are just human beings, like first of all, and I really just want that perspective to say, like, you know, we all feel emotions, we all have this struggle. Why should there be any shame in opening up about this if we are all in fact human? So that's definitely one. I mean, I'd say other ones also, some definitely like some big ones around certain types of trauma and abuse. Like obviously, like I've opened up about things I went through with, like, you know, sexual assault and abuse, and things that I've been through with depression, things that I've been through with, you know, suicidal, things that I've been through, to where certain relationships with people haven't went my way, and it or just were very hurtful, and it scarred me to a degree. So like talking about like intimate things like that people go through, you know, it's
refreshing.
It's refreshing, and it just lets people know that you're human. We all go through some sort of mistreatment, abuse, trauma, heartbreak, you know, things like that, and just knowing that,
especially as a guy too, like guys don't open up in general, you know, because you're afraid of other people's opinions, or maybe the person you're dating will have, you know, their 2 cents on how you feel. So I think out of all of the leaders on TikTok in regards to male mental health, you're doing a really good job, you know, because that's a really hard space to break into. You know, so when you talk about mental health, or at least in my opinion, you have to make it fun. You got to break it down. You can't come and say, guys, so if you're going through X, Y, and Z, well, you can. But for me, I'm like, all right, we have mental health, but let's make it fun. Let's make it appealing to people. And I saw on your TikTok, you have this concept where you'll take a sword and you'll hit something, you know, and then you'll say something, and then you'll keep doing that. And I'm watching like, what is this guy doing? But you're watching the video, and by the end, you're like, oh, wow. It's a powerful message. How'd you come up with that concept of I'm gonna hit the sword and I'm gonna say something?
Yeah, I mean, like I think like concept like that, like overall, like from that overall level, like it comes back to like childhood and just me being like a kid in a sense, because I was someone who grew up just, you know, watching anime, playing video games, you know, everything from, you know, like Bleach and Dragon Ball Z and Naruto, Full Metal Alchemist. Like I could go on about anime that I watched growing up and even today, but like I've always had that concept of I just like and, you know, resonate with there's some sort of, like, just like I said before, like, we're all human beings who are battling some sort of thing, whether you are battling a person, like you could go through like that same level of pain, battling addiction, battling mental health, battling heartbreak, battling even opening up about something bad, about, depression or abuse or whatever. You could really go through that just as a human being, and just really, like, that whole concept of it is just like fighting it, just fighting it and doing it in an open way to where like, this is who I am as a person. This is what I'm going through as a human being. And I'm going to fight it, and I'm going to know that, I'm not alone in it, and it's something that I deserve to heal from. That's where that real concept came from. It's just,
I love it, like, and so you when you're making your videos, like, how's the thought process? Like, are you telling yourself, all right, I'm going to drive to this park, I'm going to set my phone up here, and I'm going to throw a rock, and then I'm going to tell people about mental health? Like, how's that process go as you're creating the video?
So I'd say definitely when it comes to creation and those videos, like, it comes from a personal place, because it's like I'm tapping into certain emotions and things that I've been through, to where it's almost like I'm not only making a video, but also speaking to / overcoming like a stage in my life to where I want to throw this rock and let it go.
It's cathartic for you.
Yeah, it's cathartic. I want to hit some object, to where like it's like a battle, almost, because everything in life is a battle in that sense. And that's where, like that concept to where like, hey, this is what I'm going through from a personal standpoint. This is a story that I want to tell. This is really who I am as a person, which I told you, just with everything I like, to where that's where like that nature of, throwing a rock, hitting a stick, figuring out different things that I want to do, whether it's rock throwing, lightsabers, punches, kicks, things of that nature. Like, that's where it came from. And just overall, just taking those ideas, taking that approaches, and taking things that not only that I go through, but other people go through, and just implementing it in that sort of form. Like, that's what I want to do, to where, we all go through, certain things of, whether it's being down on ourselves, overcoming a negative thought pattern, overcoming something in our past, to where I just want to let that out and let people know.
Okay. So when you finish the video, and you start off, from what I've seen, you'll start off with, it's not your fault that X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
Which is powerful, because like, when it comes to things that have happened to you, I don't think it's your fault. That's happened to you, and now we have to figure out how to reclaim your life. How can you take your life back and empower other people, what you're doing right now? And then at the end of your videos, like, you do this interesting thing where you'll say like, Hulk smash, right? Is a Hulk smash like letting go of that trauma, that Hulk smash, or like talk to me about that, because I think it's dope, right? Like, I watch it over, and I'm like, what is he doing? And then the more I watch it, and I'm like, what is he doing? People are watching. And then with TikTok specifically, the view duration, that makes the video go viral. And before you know it, 7 million people have seen you Hulk smash something and help people out. So like, how do you come up with that?
Like the major attack,
right?
Major attack. Yes, I mean, it's mainly just so like I have like a specific story and topic that I talk about, whether it's like something that you go through with like some specific topic. I just really, like, tell that story throughout that video, to where like, it's not your fault that this person did this to you, or it's not that fault that your dad may have left you. It's not your fault that he didn't love you properly. And then I say that, and then, like, at the end of the video, like, I want the person watching it, and even, myself in some cases, to where like, I wanted them to know that this is something that isn't them, which goes with what you
not
were saying,
your fault.
what else
happened to you.
It's not your fault, to where like, it's not you, like, this is the situation that you may have been in your past, and it's not you. And that like final attack and that final blow is just letting it go, like, completely.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, it's like letting it go completely, just to where like, I try to get, I may get my inspiration from, like Deku from My Hero Academia, or like a Demon Slayer attack.
Okay.
But yeah, I just try to incorporate things and think of new ideas and things, to where like, I could just smash that thing
let
that
it
I'm
go.
going through, and just
Okay.
let it go. Yeah.
So how much of that, like smashing the object, how much of that is forgiving, other people are forgiving yourself?
Yeah.
How have you ever thought about that? How much of that, like final attack, where you like, oh, it's not my fault that this happened, and you're like, like when we let it out, how much of that is, is comprised of forgiveness?
Yeah. So I believe that, like with forgiveness, there are multiple stages, and just as you've talked about so much and of your content, you've talked about the healing journey. I think like a lot of us have talked about, and we've talked about, like it could be really messy. It's not a linear thing. Same thing when it comes to wellness, forgiveness, things of that nature, to where coming up to that resolution to where it's some sort of smash or like attack. It's a very messy journey, and like I'm just really want to convey in those videos to where like it's something to where like you want to punch something. It's something to where you want to scream out. It's something to where like you may have some sort of guilt, regret, shame, sadness, or whatever it may be. It's okay to progressively let that out and finally just decisively let yourself know that, hey, this was really messy, and this is something that I deserve to let go of, and it's a constant process.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a process. That's my main
and
thing.
People don't realize, this is important when it comes to like healing and forgiveness. Like that's not a process that is fun.
Yeah,
it's not fun. Like sometimes, I'll make a video and I want to smile in my videos. I want to give up that good vibe. But when it comes to healing and overcoming trauma and being, your best self, like it takes a lot of inner work. And that part is like ugly. It's dirty. You have setbacks. You have to constantly remind yourself that you're doing a good job. And that's why I like how you put the content out there, because like you'll have that final release where like you throw a rock somewhere, you put that smash out, and as guys, I think that's why you're popular with the guys, and like you'll take the concept of healing and you're like, I'm letting out, like I'm giving myself permission to live my best life, and have you you talk about anime a lot, have you actually received a lot of support from the anime community, because it's like you're taking anime and you're mixing it with mental health. How they supported you?
I love how you're bringing this up. This is very important to me. Like so like definitely I've overwhelmingly noticed when it comes to social media, whether it's just anything, TikTok, Instagram, Snap, Discord, like I've like overwhelmingly like over the process of this, like I've noticed people with certain profile pictures of an anime character that I know, people with usernames of an anime character that I know, and people who really just resonate with that so much to where like in our Discord community of around like 3K people right now, I noticed there are, I would say like a huge chunk of that, like a quarter or maybe even more, like have some sort of anime or cartoon or some sort of like character of a person who does resonate with that, and I think I'm learning that like things like that are very universal to where there could be someone who, like, I just connected with someone who's from Qatar, and he says he likes anime and things of this nature, and like it speaks to him in that regard, and just people just all across the world, it's somewhere to where like I want to apply those universal concepts and know, just as you were saying, right, making it fun, I want to really make that fun and make it relatable and just make it human.
I love that. Because going back to the concept of hope, like when I was working every day back in Virginia doing clinical work, and the patient is going through it, like I remember going to some of my patients and I asked them, what do you like what is it that you like? Of course we'll give you a medication, but I think Zoloft only goes so far, but we'll give you medication, but I'm like, what do you like? You like video games? Like I have a PlayStation, I'll bring a controller, we can play for like 10 minutes before I have to get back in the office, or we can go shoot basketball, or lead into what you like. And for people, at least within the anime community, I don't know too much about it, I'm willing to learn, but what I do know is that if you enjoy anime and you're going through it, then maybe taking certain aspects of anime and illuminating it and putting it at the forefront, that could help people a lot. For example, I know with Dragon Ball Z, is it Budokai? Is that the game?
That's a game.
Yeah, I used to play that back in the day. Naruto used to have a game on the PSP back in the day. I used to play that. So like whether it's a game, because like I'm a video game person. Yeah. So if I'm trying to connect with somebody who likes anime, like I'll play Dragon Ball Z or Naruto. Or even like this doing animation where the guy's like, doing that or whatever. You have to figure out how to connect to people. And I like the fact that you've been able to do that with people on TikTok and on Discord. Exactly, and then you're talking about something that you're genuinely interested. Like as I'm talking, you see your face is lighting up.
I love it.
Because you love it.
I got the shirt right now. I got the Aaron Yeager shirt.
Actually, explain it. Who was this character? Because I don't know.
So this is Aaron Yeager from Attack on Titan. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's dope. Yeah. I like your drip. So you got the row. And
got the row.
So that's neat. I got this little chain right here, which is it's from a company called Zudo, which helps provide awareness to people who've gone through sexual assault. Yeah. But hopefully they can send me some more drip. But you have the row chain, which is neat. I need one that says like Co or Dr. K, and then you have the empty. Then
I got the empty. Yeah.
And what is that, like a Juice WRLD reference or? Or am I off?
It's actually not though. I do love that song.
That song is a good song.
That's one of my favorite songs. With empty, like that's definitely one of my biggest concepts that I have in life is that just me personally, like I've always felt some sort of void that I've had, even going deeper mentally and emotionally, like from a spiritual level, just figuring out why I'm here, who I am, and really just using and going through life and figuring out that quest of finding meaning, finding purpose, and just finding out who you are and figuring out how to deal with that void. And that it's
I like the fact that you speak about that, and for males specifically, like we all struggle with sometimes feeling like we don't know what our purpose is. And sometimes with women, they have safe spaces to where they can go and talk to their friends, or they may be more likely to go find a therapist. But for men, we suffer silently. And that means that when you come across something that provides you with comfort in a safe space, you might delve into that, and it might not be the best thing for you. That could be in the form of substances. It can be in the form of gambling. It can be in the form of like even a relationship. Even somebody who's good for you, you could abuse them by leaning them on them as a crutch. And like I've seen in my experience, like in my 20s, like I'm 28, I'm still in my 20s, but in my early 20s, when I would be in relationships, sometimes I would use the lady that I was dating as like a void. And then after you get out the relationship, you start to figure out, okay, I need to work on myself in certain aspects. What are some ways that you think men can work on themselves? What are some practical things that maybe you've done, or things that people have talked about in your Discord community that can be helpful?
Yeah, I mean, personally with that, I mean, it's like a simple answer, but it's like a hard answer, Okay. It's like something to where they're like just being a guy, whether you're just a little boy growing up or you're like a man and you're adult and you're going through it. It's just that over the years, like there's a real suppression of emotions that you go through, and that like becomes your identity in a sense that you have to be like strong, you have to be silent, you have to be buff, you have to be tall, you have to be this and that, you have to get the girl, you have to get the money, you have to do this, you have to be successful. And it's like it builds up, and then like letting that go, like as easy as it is to realize that this isn't who you are and what you should do because you're just a human. It's very hard to let certain things go because it's like layer on layer on layer to the point where you have to really deconstruct every layer and think like, why do I think like this? Where did this come from? And like that journey of like reflection and processing that and releasing it is a very hard journey. It's a very hard journey, and it's something that's like it may seem like it's never ending, but just like I said before, it's something that you need to fight. So I think really just going back to that and your question with resonating with guys, I think like just like taking your power back in a sense to where like I'm a human and I deserve to have emotions. I deserve to be treated like this. I deserve to be loved, and I deserve to look at myself in the mirror every single day and say, hey, I'm not ashamed of who I am, because I may not have this, or this may have happened to me, or
I like that. You're allowing people to be themselves.
Yeah.
And when people feel like they don't have to conform to some type of pressure from society, you're able to be your most authentic self.
Yeah.
You can be somebody who likes anime. You can be somebody who's never been in a relationship. You can be somebody who's never kissed somebody. You can be somebody who, whatever you want to do, you can do that, And one thing that I'm, keen on right now, so I have my own platform, just like you have yours, right? So you're becoming, actually, you are already a mental health hero, right? 700,000 followers on TikTok plus, could be more by the time this thing airs. So you're a mental health hero, right? And you're putting all this content out for other people. What are some challenges that you've had in terms of trying to balance being the content creator while also taking care of yourself? Because for me, that always changes. So how does that look like for you?
Yes. Just like you said, a lot of changes, and it's a transition process. And it's really going with this. It's ironic in a sense, because it's like you're creating all this content for other people to help them, to impact them. And, like, obviously there are like other components you need to focus on, whether it be views, followers, like, shares, or just building everything up, your community, your movement, and all that. And then you realize that at some point, like, hey, like, you really need to take a step back and reflect and say, like, even though I'm doing this, like, my success and my worth and value as a person doesn't come from social media platform. It doesn't come from a follower account. It doesn't come from even like the number of people that you helped, like, which is like pretty crazy. Like the number of people that you help, impact, inspire, and you touch, all of that. It doesn't really come from that. It's something that you're already born with, and it's something that you already have within. And it's like, that's why I like your concept of, that's why, like, you just like you said, you already won, like that.
Yeah, I love it. you already won. It's a mindset.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a mindset. Yeah,
I have to lean into that mindset, especially the more I go, because like as my platform gets bigger, right, you have Dr. Kojo, who's helping out millions of people online. And I like what you said. You don't want to take your self-worth from how many people you help. Because I get DMs every day. Oh, you saved my life, blah, blah, blah. And I love that. And I'm happy I can do that for you. But that doesn't make me a better person because I did that and somebody else isn't doing that.
Exactly.
So sometimes you have, or at least for me, like you might have some imposter syndrome type stuff creeping where you have like the Dr. Kojo. But then after that, on the weekends or after these lights cut off, then you just have Kojo, who's just like watching sports or playing video games in his room. And it's tough to, balance those two. So like I say you already won. And I wrote that book 2 years ago, but I say you already won because I want it to be a mindset to where I tell myself, even on the worst days when I'm like, damn, like I'm tired, I'm burnt out, I feel like my content is not reaching the people that I need to reach. I say you already won so I can keep moving forward. So like you have that same mindset too. Like you still go on. You say, all right, I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to put this content out for people, and people, whether they like it or not, and they do like it, I feel like I'm doing my part, and in what ways would you say that that you're making a difference? Like when you post a video, right? You post a video, and then on TikTok, some people will get off the app to see if they'll get more views. I used to do that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not worried about the algorithm. I'll put it out there and it'll reach who it needs to reach. How can you tell when a video has been successful for you?
Yeah, no, honestly, it comes back to things that you can't even measure in that external sense of like a like count or like a view count or like how many people commented or shared it or how many people even followed you after that. It's like, I think it's like when you feel it, you feel it. It's like you could just feel that radiation to where it's like that message that you're putting out. It's like the way the people it's like the way the people are interacting with it as opposed to how many people are interacting with it. Like that's like the most important, because someone could come across any video of mine, any video of yours, and just say, hey, this is cool, scroll see the next video on whatever app they're on, right? But I think it comes down to really just having them focus in and really process that message. And then if that message is able to make a tangible difference in their life and what they do, and it's something that they keep with them, whether it's a message of, you know, you already won, or whether it's a message of I'm here and care, and you're valued and all of that. Like, that's something that like that they can take away. Like, that's
it's powerful.
Yeah.
And I saw you had a video that had 7 million views.
Yeah.
You know, do you remember what that video was about?
Yes.
Can
Yes,
you
I do.
take me through it?
Yes,
7 million views on TikTok.
I can take you through it. So it was me just outside a lake with a tennis racket and rocks, and I was saying statements around, you know, people who, and just, you know, dealing with certain things myself of, you know, like, it's not your fault your dad couldn't love you properly. It's not your fault your dad wasn't there for you like that. It's not your fault that your dad, you know, may have said some things to you, you know, and just really overall, just really having that message of, you know, the relationship that you may have with your father and your dad. It's not something to where, like, it's your fault that you may have been treated this way, or you have this shame, but it's something that you deserve to know and, like, walk away from.
And
you know?
and why do you think that video did so well? Was it the message, or was it the way that you put it out, or a combination?
Yeah, it is a combination. It's like that combination of, like, you know, just like you said, like, the story, the topic, the personality, and how I did it, which is hitting rocks with the tennis, and just, as you said, like, having that smash effect, but also really just from a human level, just people resonating, because people have, you know, unfortunately damaged relationships with, to where, like, father may not be in their life, or it may be in their life, but it's kind of like strained in, like, some sort of regard, to where they're not able to really receive that love that, you know, they crave and they desire and that they need. And I think that it's, you know, just as we were talking about before with some things about mental health, it's like, it's something that's, like, very universal throughout. Like, it doesn't matter if you're, you know, like, what your gender is, whether you're a guy or a girl. It doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter, you know, what your sexuality is, or where you're from. Like, it's, like, just a very universal thing.
It's
so,
for
like,
everybody.
A child with a dad, like, it's just very universal, and that's why that went well.
No, it 7 million views. I think that was very impactful, you know, for a lot of people. And you talk a lot about, you know, parenting, or, you know, the relationship between a father and a son, or a mother and a daughter, or, you know, mix it however which way you want. And I get a lot of, you know, parents who ask me things like, how can I support my child and XYZ, you know. So based off of your platform, what you've learned, you know, through your experience as an advocate, or even in your personal life, what are some things that you believe kids need to hear from their parents?
Oh, this is great. Like, and this is a great topic and avenue that I would love to get into. Definitely with it's definitely tough nowadays. Just given there are like gaps that a parent may have, which you can't entirely, like, blame them for. Like, you can't necessarily like blame a parent for not knowing certain things about culture or social media, or awareness of, like, how your kid talks, functions, hang out, what video games they play, anime. Like, we could go a lot into this, and I think like the biggest thing that parents should be aware of with a child who is growing up in a very different, evolving world is that while traditionally as a parent, there is a big, you know, there big emphasis on, you know, discipline, taking personal responsibility, holding your child accountable, putting pressure on them for grades, or acting a certain way, dressing a certain way, being successful, going down some sort of path and meeting that standard. And I think, like, there are certain things to where, like certain aspects of that, yes, it's very important, very, very necessary. And there are certain things in that which need to be let go and evolve and modified to the point where you have to realize that your child, regardless of their age, whether they're a preteen, teen, you know, young adult even, or whatnot, like, they are their own person, and they should have their space to express themselves, be listened to, be heard, be understood, and really just giving them like that relationship, that space for them to evolve and process what they're going through. Because ultimately, like, the parent is there as, you know, giving support guidance, parenting them in that regard. But, there comes a point in time where, your child should have that, not only that autonomy and that independence and that responsibility, but also that space for them to bounce off whatever they're going through, and that space to process what they're going through, that space to express concerns. Because, it's like a lot, like, and this is another universal thing. It's like a lot of children, I'm sure yourself included, myself included, like everyone, it's like there are certain things that you may be able to say to your parent, but since they may have grown up in a different generation and time, it's not understood or accepted. And it's understandable that certain things can't be understood, but if it's just like brushed off or to the side or just like stonewall in that regard, it really harms the parent-child relationship. So
it does.
So I think it just comes down to like that kind of like basic sense of really understanding, acceptance, and knowing that not not only have your child who is growing up physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, but even like as a parent and as an adult and as a human, like you are also growing up. So there's no shame there should be no shame in a parent saying that, hey, I don't know this about my kid. I don't know this about social media. I don't know, who my kid is snapping or what server they're on and stuff like this. But I think, just teach them, basic fundamentals about them, functioning in this world, and have that space for them to ask questions, learn. They grow in the process. You learn in the process. And I think it should be that, that journey that you both go on together. Like, that's my thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think, kids need to know, they need to feel that their parents care. Just like you have your brand, I'm here and care. Saying, hey, I care, I'm proud of you. Like, for me, like, I like hearing things like that. And there's even there's a Drake bar. I forget which song it is, but he said, certain people need to tell me they're proud of me. That means a lot to me. And I forget the song, but that meant a lot to me, right? Certain people need to tell me that they're proud of me. That means a lot to me. It's not like, of course, like you love hearing it from people on social media. 7 million people liking your video, saying, "Oh, I love it, I'm proud of you." But when you hear that phrase, "I'm proud of you," from certain people, it hits a little different.
It does.
Would you say?
Different, yeah.
Like your mom, your dad, somebody in your inner circle who has seen you go through the trauma, the BS, the ups, the downs, the highs and lows. And for them to say, "I'm proud of you," you're like, "Oh, wow, that." Yeah. I kind of, it hits different.
It does.
Yeah. And you can even use it for relationships, and now online you see men say this, women say this. What are some fundamental things that you think we should know about how we can support each other, right? Because I don't think men and women understand each other. No, all together, right? What are some, and so as we're dating each other, right, or even in any type of relationship, guy, girl, where it doesn't matter the sexuality. We don't understand each other, and we're on our own mental health journeys. How do you balance that notion of, okay, I'm taking care of myself mentally, but I'm trying to learn somebody else, right? So we're in our 20s. Like, how do we do that? It's a tough time for us.
It's a very tough time. Yeah. So kind of like your question is around, how can we have those type of strong, healthy relationships, and also
while discovering ourselves
and understanding that, hey, we're in this journey in that relationship and doing that together in that sense. Yeah. So, I mean, with that, I think it's like, just like kind of, it's like traditionally relationships have been, it's kind of like, that perspective to where, like you may be like my ride or die person, you may be this, you may be that, and sometimes like it becomes like the part that becomes like toxic or unhealthy is when you feel that this relationship may affect your worth, identity, and that person may have some responsibility in your happiness in that sense. And like, of course, like, we're
big
all
facts.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all like, obviously, since you are in that relationship, it's like that person will have some level of impact on yourself, whether it be your well-being, whether it be how you feel, whether it be some happiness here and there, whether it be whatever you're going through in life, because it is a relationship, and it is a journey together. But I don't think that should disregard certain whether it be boundaries that you have within that person, or whether it be certain priorities that you have, or whether it be just who you are, like fundamentally as a person. Like, I don't think identity should ever be like, you know, dependent and hinged upon that sort of relationship. It's like, I think that, you know, it's like, I think those two people should be there to support each other and grow and help one another and understand one another and everything. But it's not to where like that person is your core. It's like someone who's very important to you. It's someone who means the world to you, someone who loves you, cherishes you, but it isn't you. And I think it's important to have that distinction between, you know, you're your person on your journey. I'm one person on my journey, and we're choosing in this relationship to you know, be together. Right.
I like that. And you mentioned I'm choosing. It's a choice. Everything's a choice. Yeah. I'm making an intentional effort to be with you, or even your friends. Like, I want to hang out with you, but I'm on my own journey. So as you set those boundaries, you know, as you place them firm, people will know, okay, this is what that person likes, this is what they don't like, so they can retain their self-worth as an individual. Yeah. I like that. Okay. Yeah. Before I let you go, I want to know, what are you excited about right now in life?
Yeah, just from
anything. Like what are you looking forward to? Like, for me, you know, it's football season, so I'm looking forward to that. New music is dropping all the time. Like what are you excited about right now?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I could speak to like some immediate things, like whether it's like interests, hobbies, and even like some business related things. I know, like, from a business standpoint, like just kind of like this coming week, I'm starting a fellowship for I'm Here and Care. Okay. And that's like more so to really help me with like the platform and like business from like that and like that product and like startup perspective, to where figuring out you know, like operations and getting to product market fit and getting to fundraising, pitching, and like refining things like that. So I'm excited that I do have that opportunity to connect with those individuals and go through that fellowship and take advantage of those resources. It's excited about it. Like, definitely it'll be a little crazy because there's a lot of big pieces and big things that I need to figure out, and it's tough, you know, building a business and being an entrepreneur and it's hard. You know, it's tough, you know, balancing social media, balancing life, and figuring it all out. It's very tough, managing a lot. So, you know, it's like excited for that journey, but also have that sense of, I think, uncertainty and anxiety in a sense, because I'm figuring out.
It makes it fun a little bit.
Exactly, it makes it fun a little bit. Yeah,
you could massively fail, or it could be a success. But you're grateful for the experience.
Exactly. So, you know, excited for that experience for sure. When it comes to kind of like things that I'm just excited about, like, definitely just, I mean, like, just always, like, I'm always excited for like a new like new anime for sure. Okay. Like, I'm always excited about like new anime. I'm always excited. Also, I have been doing a lot of like boxing lately. It's like, so for like the past year, like, just took it like up during the pandemic. Just been doing a lot of boxing, so I'm just always excited. A new hobby. Yeah, just to grow and get in there and have that fun. That's been really great. And like continuously, since things are in a place just with the pandemic, to where, you know, like it is this new normal, but we're figuring it out. Like, I really want to, like, okay, so my brother is, so he just finished high school and he's going to University of Washington in Seattle. So we'll be helping him move in, get situated, and he's gonna be on his college journey, you know.
That's exciting.
So that's very exciting. Like, I'm very excited for my brother, and he's gonna be doing big
Congrats
things.
to him. Yeah. And you're a good, it's your younger brother, right?
Yeah.
You're a good older brother, you know, looking out for him.
Doing best, yeah.
That's what's up. And you mentioned the boxing. Are you looking to get into celebrity boxing? Do you want to fight Jake Paul or somebody? You know, you think you could take?
We'll see, man. We'll see. Watch out.
Right. You know, it's a good outlet. You know, a good way to, you know, like you said, release. It's very good. You know, get all the energy out.
It's funny. Yeah, but I love boxing, and it's a great sport. It's been teaching me, you know, like, you know, not only fundamentals and form about it, but specifically, but also just having that discipline and consistency, and just using parts of your body in certain forms that you never knew before. It's like you think throwing a punch is easy, but then like, you know, when you get to footwork, when you get to like moving your hips, when it gets to like keeping your elbow in, when it comes to like keeping your hands up and like knowing how to, you know, like how to block,
how to work my stance.
Yeah, how to block, how to parry, how to bob and weave and slip and everything. It's an art.
It is an art. Like it's not street fighting.
It's not just a fight. No,
just fighting because somebody's like, oh, this person said this about me. So because this person says about me, I'm gonna like punch him. No, like you said, you have to protect your face.
Yeah,
a lot goes into it. All right, Ro. So where can the people find you online?
Yes. So with I'm Here and Care. We're on a lot of platforms. So pretty much just, you know, it's spelled like I am and then Here and Care. So so that's what it is. And we're on TikTok. We're on Instagram, Snap. We have a Discord. I also have like a personal kind of like YouTube channel where I talk about like things like this, topics about health and wellness and my personal journey and just, you know, supporting one another. And, you know, like I encourage everyone to, you know, check out those channels, check out their creation and the content. And also like if you want to get to know and connect with the deeper community, like join the Discord. It's very lit. We have great conversations. We support one another and it's fun. We hang out and we talk about, you know, not only things around that, but also just fun things like art, TV shows, anime, video games, like things like that. So it's really, really fun. I encourage you to join and I'd be happy to see you there.
All right, bro. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
They left me on my own when I was in the stick. I cut the heat on 350, run the city with my brother in the distance. I pass it, he never miss it. Hey, I just been in it for a minute. I'm loyal, I'm never switching. My brother, he got a sentence. Don't come to me about your feelings. I really ain't tryna listen. On the road to the riches, I promise I won't forget you.